I am from the church, and before the time elapses, I really wanted to share what I've learned today. And I've learned a lot of things, but also I will be sharing just a few. We learned about returning back to God. That was the topic, and then we read Exodus 34 until there in the middle. And we also read Nehemiah chapter 9 and verse 17. And what I learned is that though I have done the unimaginable that has gone against the God's will, command, the Lord is a God full of compassion, full of mercy, and slow to anger and abounding in love. That whenever I go back to Him and recognize the things that I did, my Lord is able to help me by showing me compassion and mercy and receiving me back. So, on returning back to God, you have to recognize the things that you feel they are now insufficient without Him, so that He comes in and then you're restored. Another thing, to return back to God, we have to pay a price by forsaking everything that we find pleasure in. I was like, yeah. And another thing, to return to God, I have to ensure that I acknowledge the greatness and goodness, His faithfulness, and the holiness of God. I have to acknowledge first. That's when I'll be making a point of me heading to the restoration part, or rather to the returning part of me being able to go back to God. And another thing, when you return to God, He will accept you regardless. And I was like, wow, I'm just imagining, and I was imagining the story of the prodigal son. Regardless, or rather, even after he had done all that he did, his father was ready to just hug him, to accept him. And how much more does our God have the much love that He has when you return back to Him? So first you have to recognize where you are at, what made you went away from His presence, and then now acknowledge His holiness. And then after doing that, ask for forgiveness. And then the Lord is passionate, merciful, slow to anger, and He is going to receive you. I was challenged. Sometimes be challenged and then do that. God is merciful.